This is how our rappers growing up diss
Uh,
track as adults. They make documentary.
this is this is what hip hop is aging into. Oh, documentary wars. Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy.
This is Shana,
And Kris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have closet case. A closet case is someone who is hiding their sexual orientation or gender identity, often pretending to be heterosexual or cisgender, leading to a secretive life where they don't openly express their true self due to fear, societal pressure, or stigma. My sentence is even though he talks about wanting a boyfriend, he's a total closet case, never bringing anyone home or talking about his dating life openly. Closet case.
All
What
right.
you got, Shana?
My queer urban dictionary word of the week is ace flux. All one word, ace flux. It is an identity within the asexual umbrella that describes someone whose experience of asexuality fluctuates over time. My sentence, ace flux people might feel connected to asexuality some days, but then feel more allosexual, i.e., the opposite of asexual, on other days. I got this from Zoe Stoller. Ace flux.
Ace flux.
All right, we have a lot to cover in our category is because the news is newsing as it likes to do at the end of the year. So we're gonna
Hmm.
jump into all of the things. We're gonna praise, pray, tell. Our first category is why Jasmine Crockett running for Senate is great for us, aka great for the LGBTQ plus community. First of all, if for whatever reason you don't have any news updates on your phone because the world has been a dumpster fire, Jasmine Crockett has announced that she is running for Senate. Why am I having a hard time saying Senate today? I don't know. But
It's
Jasmine
the end of
Crockett
the
has
year. You're
launched
breaking
her,
down. You're like
right, truly.
loading.
Yeah,
You're loading and glitching.
I'm like, we're doing our best.
Buffering. Then,
I'm like, Jasmine, I
then
got to do better for you. I got to do better for
somebody
you.
thought that their phone definitely hit a dead spot. Like, whoa, whoa. No, that's sent. Net.
I was like, Senate. Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate, y'all. So excited about it. She did it in the best way. A simple video of her in all black, looking off screen, while the insults of Donald Trump rain around her.
All
Whoever
right.
came up with this marketing plan to launch her Senate, I hope has gotten the biggest promotion and a raise and a bonus because
Mm,
iconic. Iconic
that's so funny. Certainly, they got an end of the year pizza from the company.
at minimum.
Like, you did a good job.
Okay? At
We're giving
minimum
you
because
this medium
this is
pepperoni.
politics. Maybe they
Hmm.
gave him wings with it,
Maybe. Maybe.
you know?
Yeah.
And so she also took a note from Zoran Mondamni's book where she launched also with a bunch of social media influencers that center politics as a part of her brand campaign. So it was great to see the variety, the way that she did it. It looked like a lot of them were done in the same day because she had on the same outfit along with a bunch of interviews that she was doing. So the fact that she even gave time to each of these folks, incredible. In case you don't know a lot about her politics and you really just get to know her for the badly built bleach blonde butch body one off and things and
So, tongue
her
twister.
other zingers that she likes to do. Here are some of the ways that she has actively supported the LGBTQ plus community. One, she has pledged to file and pass safeguards for LGBTQ plus rights at the federal level, particularly in response to an extremist Supreme Court majority. She is the co-sponsor of the Equality Act, which would prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation. She works to protect the rights of LGBTQ plus youth, identifying children in schools, and has publicly criticized anti-trans legislation targeting youth sports. She's been an avid person to speak up against how they're treating trans youth in sports, especially. As a state representative, she earned a 100% rating from Equality Texas for her positions, and in Congress, she has consistently voted against bills considered harmful to the LGBTQ plus community, such as the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. She has introduced resolutions in the House honoring the contributions and fight for equality of the Texas LGBTQI plus community. So she is doing the work not only for us, for Black and brown folks, for immigrants, for women, for Texans in general. Like, she had to go up there and remind the people that Texas is a majority minority state. It's just that people
Yeah.
don't get out and vote. So her getting into Senate, there's possibly, I think, 7 or 8 other Black women who are also running for Senate. If even 1 or 2 of them get a Senate seat, we're taking stuff back. We're getting a
Taking
little bit of
stuff
hope
back.
here, which is very
Mm-hmm.
exciting to be able to see. And I think something that we really need as we go into the midterms. So I'm very happy that she's taken this step forward. She's been such an iconic leader since, and this is a natural next step for her.
Yeah. And she's also it's a part of a wave of folks that are running, and like I don't know who recently just like upset somebody, a Democrat. That I know
Miami.
Miami's mayor,
Miami's
Miami,
mayor.
first
Yeah.
Democrat in 30 years. So, you know, in these deep red states, anything can happen, especially
Mm-hmm.
with people seeing the economic plan or what did he say? Concepts of a plan for
Concepts of a plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same. But yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are getting primaried, people are running that, you know, have different ideas and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, shout out to Jasmine Crockett. She also never wavered too. You know, a lot of Dems after or a good amount of Dems after the election last year were trying to like distance themselves from any support of, you know, trans people, period. Like you had Gavin Newsom like concede some things and all that. She's always 10 toes down about us. Like we're not the problem. Like we need to
Mm-hmm.
keep it on all of the real things that are going on. So shout out to her. We would gain a great senator. And shout out to anybody who is running or working on campaigns or helping because we're going to need all the help we can get.
Big facts.
Yeah. All right. This next category is fun. There are sports updates. We have a little exclamation mark there. So there are two cool stories. The first one being Aja Wilson is just picking up even more trophies off the court. She won the Associated Press Athlete of the Year, as well as Time Magazine's
Mm-hmm.
2025 Athlete of the Year.
Gosh, those cover photos,
Just my gosh, great spreads,
iconic.
iconic. What a year. I don't know what this adds to her hardware for the year, but I saw excerpts from at least a Time magazine interview, but I need to read
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing. But no one more deserving. Obviously, just her on court dominance this year, her shoe release, her trophy she added to 4-time champion now. Yeah, congrats to her. She deserves it all.
Mm-hmm.
So, mm, 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 mm. Did you ever get that? I never got her shoes yet. I love their colorways. I've seen they built out the
No,
colorways. There's so many colors with
there's
it.
so many colors, and
It's
I am
olive what I
fingers
like.
crossed getting some for Christmas.
Okay.
That is what I'm holding out
Yeah.
for, is that I am getting some sort of Asia Wilson something for
Mm,
Christmas, and that is what I am patiently waiting for.
okay. Is anybody who might get this gift for you listening or could be listening?
I mean, who knows?
Mm,
Who knows?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was on the
Yeah.
list,
That's so
and they
funny.
read that list. The person that would be listening and could potentially be the person that would help to make that happen
Mm-hmm.
has the list, because my family is old school and we still send each other lists so that we can be sure that we get the things that we would like.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
plus,
How do y'all share your lists?
oh, via email.
Okay. That's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Y'all
But
put
then it's
like a
like we
limit
also
to it?
have to, no, we just send what we, I mean, you're going to get what you get. So it's
Yeah.
not like you put it on there and then you're going to get everything. It's still the
Mm-hmm.
surprise of hooray. And then there's still stuff off the list, but then it can give motivation or inspiration for what you could potentially get this person
That's
as
cool.
well that they would like. So we still keep that going. Plus, it's fun for my nephew to be
Yeah.
able to send us his Christmas list and things like
Gotta do it
that.
for the
So,
kiddos. Gotta
I
do it
was
for the
like, Legos and
kiddos.
Roblox for my boy. That's all.
Yeah, that's where he's
Legos
at.
and Roblox.
That's so funny. Yep. Good. Both of them, especially the Lego sets now, are just great. Like I know they do the adult
Yes.
ones, but there's so many great Lego
And he
sets.
sits
Like,
down and he is just
my
like, all right,
goodness.
we're looking at the picture, drawing the stuff. And then he's like,
And
look at
doing it.
this. And I'm like, wow, look at that.
I love
Silence for
Legos growing up. I
45
loved
minutes and
it.
then an
Yeah.
object.
Hmm. Here it is. Like there's so much. accomplishment, the flood of accomplishment when you finish a Lego. Like
Mm-hmm.
you get to the end of the page. So um mm, well, shout out to the holidays and happy holidays to everybody. Shout out to your Christmas list. This next sports story, I had no idea. I don't really pay attention to wrestling like I used to, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson's daughter hard launches her new wrestler girlfriend. So
Wow. Keeping it in
his
the family.
keeping it in the family, keeping it in the family. Simone Johnson, his The Rock's eldest daughter, who goes by Ava Rain in the ring, made her relationship with fellow WWE wrestler Tatiana Dumas Instagram official on December 7th when she posted a reel from the couple's joint account. They already got a
Oh,
joint
joint
account. Okay.
account.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, come on. Joint account. The video caption, "Fall in love again and again," shows the happy couple kissing and hugging while traveling and dining together. Oh,
You know what would have been really
we
funny?
love young love. Mm.
If it had been like them in the ring and then one of them like jumping on the other and then it just kept like showing it repeating of them falling in love over and over again. That would have been funny.
That's funny. It's maybe coming soon to
If
that
they
joint
listen to
account.
this,
Yeah.
take that. You're welcome.
Yeah. Shit, you're just saying that one's free. That one's free.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So even though they've been spotted together in public many times in the past and have been hinting at their relationship for weeks, this is the first time they made it official in public, despite the video making it clear they've been dating for a while. So I'm sure there's people that are listening to this that are tapped into the wrestling world that are like, we've been new. But yeah, well, I saw this and was like, oh, wow, how about that?
We love to see it.
Welcome, welcome. You know, we
Right.
love when there's new queer folks there. So very cool. And it is cool that she's keeping it in the family. There's like a whole bunch of uh, next generation kids. Like Rey Mysterio's kid is like the heavyweight champion. And I was like, some of these people you grow up with, and it's like their kids are like wrestling and champions. So
Mm-hmm.
we're getting old. But well, shout out to them. Shout out to them. All right. And this last sports update is soaked in audacity.
So
Soaked in audacity. So Egypt and Iran have asked FIFA to prevent LGBTQ plus pride celebration at their World Cup match in next year, 2026. So the national federations for Egypt and Iran have asked to ban any LGBTQ plus pride celebration for their group match, which will be in Seattle next June 26th. That's scheduled. The World Cup schedule has been out. It's in North America, so I know it's in different sites
yeah, I think it's
as
like
they get to
16
the
different
tournament.
cities. Yeah.
Yeah. So Seattle has one, and their game falls on Pride weekend, June 26th for Seattle. And though underrated, we were talking about this in our pre-show, which sign up to Patreon to see it. But Seattle's pretty gay. So
Mm.
they're, they're gonna have some pride, match or just celebration. Like they're not, why would they not? It's their city. You're visiting the city.
Hmm.
So Egypt's federation invoked FIFA statutes, Article 4 on the neutrality in political and social matters, and disciplinary rules meant to prevent displays that could cause tension or conflict amongst fans.
It's pride. What tension?
They've also said that those type of activities will conflict with their country's cultural and religious values, which I'm sure it is.
Yes, seeing
However,
as you can get killed for being queer in those countries.
Ever.
You're on our turf now.
You're on our turf now. You are in Seattle. Okay. Maybe take this shit to Atlanta or somewhere else where they are going to be sympathetic. Okay. Fort Lauderdale. But Seattle's
Atlanta's
gay
not
as
gonna be
hell.
sympathetic.
Yeah,
Atlanta's
they
not.
might, just because it's a red state. I don't know what it, you know what I mean? Like Fort Lauderdale,
No.
like they might, local politics
Fort
might, you know
Lauderdale
what I mean?
It's pretty gay as well. So
it is. Now these cities, yes.
Yes.
But
yes.
Seattle is in Washington, so they have the backing
The whole
of
state.
layers.
And they have
you
the
know
whole
what I mean?
support of the
So,
Western region.
because what's McCall get his nose right in it. DeSantis, if Fort Lauderdale was like, no, we're gonna keep doing it. So anyways, Seattle's gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see what happens. We went back because when we were putting this in the doc, we were like, wait a minute, these are every 4 years for the people who aren't sporty folks, but these World Cups come around just like the Olympics every 4 years. So in 2022, it was in Qatar, and there was a lot of controversy because Qatar has laws against homosexuality similar to Egypt and Iran, and it was going back and forth. Ultimately, where they landed is that they said they welcome gay couples to the World Cup, but asked them to respect their culture. They were like, come, but don't be gay. And people had to adhere to that. You had to, at your own risk it, right? So, like,
Mm-hmm.
they might not have actually said, hey, don't come here, don't, whatever. But you best believe you had to be on your best behavior. And people who were on the ground, there was a couple of queer journalists. I think it was like Israel Gutierrez might have been there. There was a couple like queer actual journalists go
Mm-hmm.
that said, the atmosphere was a little, like you knew not to fuck around.
You
So
felt it in the air.
you felt it. You know what they're saying with that. You know what they're saying with that. So, this match is in Seattle and Seattle can do what they want. I mean, it'll again be interesting to see what happens because this certainly aligns with the current administration. But we'll see the clash. It's Seattle's match. So, and they're not, you know, I don't know what they have planned, but they're going to celebrate Pride. They're not going to hide
Mm-hmm.
that just because you got a little game going on. That's probably how they feel. You got your little game going on. They're like, it's the World Cup. Your little game, So we'll see what happens with this. And as we get closer to these matches and the World Cup itself. So that's sports.
That's sports.
That is sports.
All right, let's get to our final category is we must talk about the Diddy Doc aired on
Yeah.
Netflix, created by 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm. Direct.
Four-part series.
Sean Combs, The Reckoning, is available on Netflix. It
Yeah.
is his 4-part series that he was shopping around like right after like the allegations came out. Like
Mm-hmm.
he said that he had a doc. So this is where we are with it. This was directed by Alexandra Stapleton, and yeah, we'll dig into this. But overall, this is one of the better documentaries I've seen. There's been a lot already out that some of this documentary definitely covers,
Mm-hmm.
but the way they put it together timeline wise, the way they had each episode, like episode one, dealt with his early life. It was titled Pain versus Love. Episode two was What Goes Down Must Come Back Up. Three is Official Girl, and four is Blink Again. And you see the conclusion of things with the trial. So the way they put this together, timeline, footage you've either seen before or you hadn't seen before, to give a complete picture of Diddy was one of the better documentaries I've seen, like in terms of feelings. What do you feel about the series as a whole?
It definitely painted a lot of pictures. There were clearly areas that you definitely wanted them to dig in more just because of how
Yeah.
well they were digging in to the stories that we were hearing. I watched it with a friend who is an avid watcher of these different documentaries, and they said that a lot of the footage has been footage that they have seen before with a few different pieces, but nothing that was super shocking. But the details and the people who came out is one of the better rounds. So it was definitely
Yeah.
one of those that was hard to watch, but it wasn't one of those that, you know, I sat and watched it in one sitting. So it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
too, it's fucked up. And
Yeah.
the information that was able to be shared and balanced allowed me to stay in it for
Yeah.
back to back to back
Yeah.
in
They didn't
watching.
stay in the darkness too long with some things, or at least
Hmm.
that's how it felt. Like they certainly gave you a complete piece of him being like a half monster and half musical genius, or even that's debatable,
Well,
but
a
some
legend.
sort of genius, right? Because like, there's something there, but I don't know, but what's interesting is that our generation, and I know, Gen X and older generations will say they're a part of this, but millennials have certainly been the only generation to have these documentaries or just find out about the people who were so prominent in pop culture and life. Like we talked
Hmm.
before about Diddy's cultural impact. We have seen the other side of a lot of people. And it's just very unfortunate that you see how that started as a kid, how
Mm-hmm.
those things could have, just the aggression, the violence, sex parties that his mom used to have. Like you could
Mm-hmm.
see
The hustle.
the
Mm-hmm.
hustle, all of it as a kid, like where you have the ingredients of it. He's getting older and older. He's very, very much driven and ambitious and wanted to be a part of hip hop as it was growing and did a lot of things. You had the party promotions and everything, and that led to was it the City College stampede that killed 9 people because it was
Mm-hmm.
either not enough security and a lot of things going on there. The change from that and getting out getting out of that to what he developed into as an A&R with Jodeci and Mary J. Blige and like what he did with culture. And then you just keep seeing him grow. And we remember this time vividly, like the music, the like
Mm-hmm.
external facing stuff of this, like, but like it is just a trail of destruction on the back end. Like there's
Yeah.
not somebody he didn't financially abuse or exploit or physically, emotionally, and sexually abuse in his life. Like allegedly all this, that you have to
Mm-hmm.
say, but so they painted that full picture and knowing what his North Star was to be the richest, you know, the biggest star, he wanted everything and he consumed everything and exploited and chewed people out and spit it out, all right in front of us because we saw that. We
Mm-hmm.
knew he financially abused his artists. We That used to be kind of a running joke to be on Bad Boy. There's nobody on Bad Boy that had a good positive experience with Puff, even with his reunion shows that they showed footage of from a couple years ago. You could tell they probably did it because of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the other stuff was probably right in plain sight, like just how he groomed women, how he possessed them, he abused them, how they were property, how young Cassie was, uh, and then to me also how much he did actually allegedly use Bad Boy Enterprises. Like I wish for the district attorney in his case that maybe they were able to show that more, but like he did use like the record label from what it appears to do these illegal acts.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting if this would have came out before the trial, but it didn't. And I wonder if this does real irreparable harm because I think if he would have gotten out after the 50 months that he was sentenced to, maybe he's able to maneuver around. This feels like it's like, oh, because there's a lot of people who don't know the story. Like my mom was like, holy, like she was just like, my God, like I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
how deep all this was, how even the Biggie and Tupac stuff, the timeline of that and the implications of that. But I hope it does irreparable harm. Like I hope whatever years he was able to snake out of this and strategize out of this, which he kind of won,
Mm-hmm.
that people don't forget this documentary or just how his patterns are because it's pretty nuts. So I don't know. Did you feel like knowing the footage that he taped of him before getting arrested and then like seeing how he was trying to strategize with his lawyer, do you think he succeeded in controlling the narrative?
Yeah. He absolutely did because we talked about how black people were still going up for him. Even after, you remember when we had that whole conversation about Cassie?
Yeah.
And I had brought up the commentary of the women at the gym that I was working out with who were like, she
Especially
could have
older
gotten out.
generations.
She could have gotten out
Yeah.
at any time.
Yeah, they were like 10
Why
years.
did
My
she
older sister
stay?
said that too. She was like, 10 years though. Like, why wouldn't she leave? Did she just like enjoy? Like, they really conditioned to that. That was culture.
Yes.
That's another part of it is just like looking back at Y2K culture and early aughts. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
goodness gracious. Like, we grew up in some shit. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
So,
it's it's sad
yeah, it is.
is the biggest thing because mind you, we have only heard from barely a handful of the people that were impacted. Like I would have loved to
Mhm.
hear J Lo. Would have
Yeah.
loved to hear from early on relationships. Would have loved to hear. I know that Mary J saw something.
I know. I
Okay.
always think that about her. I
I
did
was
think
like,
that, like when
bring
Cassie came out
back
too. And
Lorianne Gibson and let her spill everything. There are so
hmm
many perspectives that I would have loved to hear,
yeah, Mace
but
has alluded
that's,
to it in past conversations. But
yeah.
if you also remember, a couple years ago, Diddy was giving his artists their masters back, and I don't know if this was a rumor or this was founded, but there was an NDA involved, so he
Hmm.
might have known some shit was about to happen. But
Oh, he
Mace is
absolutely
also,
did. Because he's not
he
fool.
had
Like,
to. He had to have
he's
known.
with the way that his brain worked,
Yeah.
he knew what to do to be sure. And if people were getting pennies and then had the opportunity to get some money when they're not really doing much, because you see the longevity of some of these artists, and most of these artists are just not doing stuff anymore. But I
No.
think they definitely succeeded on controlling the narrative. It
Mm-hmm.
was a very smart tactic. It
Mm-hmm.
was the way to bring people in. They went straight to the sources that would help spread the message the fastest. And
Yeah.
you could see it. And if you don't believe it, see how people talked about Cassie after she
Yep.
went in and 24 hours later got a settlement. But Cassie was making a point. Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad she got a check, but Cassie was making a point. And then for y'all to
Yeah.
go in and still see these videos in 4K from different angles and still be like, shouldn't have stayed. Why she stay? She could have
Not
left at
only
any
should
point.
have
Girl,
stayed, but
stop.
making her this mastermind, co-mastermind with him. Like it was like
Right.
she's no victim, she's a co-conspirator. And that was the narrative that they spun that you
Mm-hmm.
talked about that did win because it went from everybody feeling sympathy for Cassie, especially after the video came out. Whereas because before people were still doubting too. They were like 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but then the video comes out. But what his side was able to do is again to get all of the text of her and then the lovey-dovey text basically like she stayed around like and some for some people like her being the co-conspirator which is again nuts like he signed her to a 10 album deal like she couldn't do anything else and on one hand people think that Cassie should have gotten out, but like that was the height of Diddy's power. Like when he met her, like there's
Mm-hmm.
no way she could have gotten out. Like they're grown men scared of him clearly. Like why would Cassie be able to get away from him?
Yeah.
So I don't know why people just like they understand that he could be this monster and capable of this violence, but somehow Cassie was supposed to, and all these other people were supposed to just like either get out or get away from him. Even the assistant Capricorn Clark, who ultimately got fired because of the Kid Cudi Cassie thing, like he blackballed her. She couldn't make any money. His um, Kirk Burrows, who co-founded Bad Boy Entertainment with him, he couldn't get a job after he got a bat and got his 25% in stock back from him after giving it to him. Like it's just a string of like he clearly and allegedly use his business to control people and to have power over people. So, and one of the things I wanted to say that Roger Bonds, I think he was his former security guard, said that also stuck with me was like he was grooming his sons for like this bullshit and not for taking over Bad Boy or anything. Like
Yeah.
his son's participation and all that, and even the most recent the footage that was from before he was arrested like they're helping him out which I know that's their dad like they're gonna do that but like he was just having his son in this bullshit too he's not grooming
Mm-hmm.
them to be executives or to take this on so I thought that was also like a really just like telling point of like they couldn't even do this if they didn't want to like there's no choice they're just in it so
Yeah.
god dang. Mm. Dawn Aubrey's
Dawn.
story was so heartbreaking to
Aubrey's was
hear.
heartbreaking. That was one, I
Yeah.
think, out of all of the stories, that was my most surprised,
Yeah.
was hearing all of that with her. Because it was also interesting to understand what all happened with her, because she was
Mm-hmm.
more the most outspoken person of Danity Kane,
Yeah.
and the ways that she was able to avoid, but also sounds like allegedly she may not have been. And that was devastating to hear.
Yeah. And
And I
her
agree
to
with
not
her,
even
where she's
know
like,
if she
she was like, and not
was.
wanting to know. I was like, fair,
Yeah.
fair girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that was weird was the Biggie murder day, like rituals, like the March 9th, him having freak offs every March 9th was just like, this nigga is crazy. Okay. So what do you think of the criticism that's come following the release of this, with 50 Cent being the person who put this together. Like, again, as I said before, he shot this like pretty immediately after even like the Cassie charges come out. And I will say, even though 50 probably has some skeletons in his closet, that we'll see if it comes out, because this is also
Oh, they already have.
on him.
Already have.
And already have. I will say he has consistently for well over 10 or 15 years been at Diddy's neck. Like, if there was anybody that was definitely going to do a documentary or to be involved with one, it was him. So it's not like, not that it makes it right, but I don't know why people are like so shocked or mad at him. Like, he's re-exposing, like, it's been crazy to see like Marlon Wayans come out and try and like, don't kick him when he's down. And it's like, Diddy doesn't need any defending. Yeah, Marlon Wayans was at a radio. He said, don't kick him when he's down, kind of thing. And it's just like, Marlon, please, like, Diddy
watch the documentary and shut your mouth.
And he probably didn't watch it, right? He thinks I don't know why there's this rush to like, hey, let's not pile on or whatever, where it's just like, Diddy tarnish his own legacy. All these men that do this, the Bill Cosbys, the R. Kelly, like, they tarnish their own legacies and clearly have this pattern of behavior over decades. Like, it wasn't just like, So, what do you think of 50? Do you think things are coming out. So what do you think of him as being attached to this? Does it discredit the project because it's like one of his nemesis is part of putting this together?
I don't think it discredits the project, because we knew he just pulled together all of the resources and found the people. Again, like my friend had said, a lot of those videos were already out and available prior to being put into this. So there's nothing to really discredit, but there were some nuances that some folks who have done the interviews have spoken out about to say that, hey, that timeline was actually incorrect because we did that interview on this day at this time. And the opposite was actually happening. Or them coming in and saying, pay attention to this piece of the story, because that wasn't 100% it. So I think there were nuances that we should fact check. Because it's not coming from a normal documentary type background of things. So, always do your research, always do the checks. But I don't think it discredits it, because a lot of that information was already out there. And I think some parts of this are doing the same thing that were happening with Diddy in terms of controlling the narrative. Now everybody's all like, shout out to 50 Cent for coming out here. We love a petty queen. We want you to be out here doing all of this. But then that did open up the door for folks to go back and be like, wait a minute. 50, you're not innocent either, bitch.
At all.
The things that you did.
Not only is he innocent, but it's like, you could also do, because he tweeted like, what doc should I do next? And somebody was like, Dr. Dre. That's your man's. Are you going to expose Dr. Dre's violence, history of violence? Like, where does it go? So somebody joke and say that documentary is about to be the new diss track. Because like Ja Rule did come out with some screenshots. How we got into this
millennial. Because Ja Rule said he's about to put out his own documentary.
Yeah.
And I said, honestly, that's true. This is how our rappers growing up, diss track as adults, they make documentary.
This is what hip hop is aging into. Documentary wars. Yeah.
Okay. That's all we're going to be watching, especially since like Netflix and Hulu are very much in their documentary bag right now. If they jump in it, we're going to have the next like 2 to 3 years of hip hop documentaries.
Back and forth.
Truly. They're going to be like, oh, you thought, and then they're just going to keep putting them out, because Ja Rule totally came out and said, oh, so you thought that this was going to be it? I'm putting out one that's going to one up this. And I'm like, wow, these are our new albums. This is it. We found it.
And he could on 50. Like, if anybody, it should be Ja Rule to do that. Like, and that
was the thing that happened, that it did immediately come out to remind folks that 50 Cent is not innocent. He has
at all
been accused of abuse as well. He's been accused of setting his own house on fire, and allegedly setting his house on fire, allegedly while his former wife and kid were in the house.
Yeah. And he's not even close with that kid. That's the kid that looks just like him, his eldest, that he doesn't even fuck with. So
so it's just like
in him too. Yeah.
Remember that shit. Like,
G Unit's not the most,
not.
It's not like you don't have good relationships with everybody from G Unit. Like, so it's just like, he exploits
all these things. Yeah.
it's just
Plus, it just adds on to the story of Diddy being a closeted gay and all of the relationships that him
yeah.
and 50 had as well, which show
Mhm.
each of those things. So it
Mhm.
brings up those
50 has consistently
allegations
say you try to take him
as
shopping.
well. It
Uh-huh.
shows the photos of them in
What do you
hot
think about
tubs,
that?
shows
Because I
them
was
in
like,
different spaces.
oh
I'm just like, what?
God, what is it? They're gonna take this and run with it. But it's like,
Okay.
okay, Diddy is not straight, which has also that rumor has been around for a long time. And I don't want to make
Hmm.
light of it because he absolutely committed a violence against men.
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely, you know? So,
100%ly.
um,
100%ly.
yeah, 100%, 100% ish.
That's our
Um, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to talk about or understand what role his sexuality played in this in terms of like, is it because he was repressed that some of these things happen or this level of
hmm
violence? Like he knew he couldn't be out in that world, not in hip hop, not in 90s hip hop. My God. Um,
hmm
so like what does that mean? Um I don't know. I just, I just don't want them to use that against, the bisexual community because they are
Yeah,
always just a stone's throw away from being vilified. And just
truly.
as in large, like you saw um, his team and his narrative, besides Cassie as a co-conspirator, do the whole, it's a Frico, not a Rico thing. So I
Hmm.
don't want him to connect, consensual, um group sex, consensual Kim sex. There was a lot of drugging going on that clearly allegedly against the will,
Hmm.
with like things that we do in our community. Like it's like us being labeled already historically as like sexually deviant. Like that's not our guy. Like that's we get down with consent. Everybody should get down with consent, whatever they're doing. I don't want them to connect that to our community, but he
Hmm.
was also not straight. So like there's a whole lot going on there.
A
So I don't know how to feel
whole
about it.
lot
Those are the
going
things
there.
floating in my mind of like there's a
Yeah,
lot
because it's
going on
definitely
there.
thinking
So
around the terms of what could this do for the bisexual community and
hmm
how violence shows up in internalized homophobia. And I think that's
yeah.
been a positive of this to
hmm
show that to the world again, to show how detrimental it is when folks aren't able to freely express themselves or feel comfortable expressing themselves in their sexuality, and how that internalized homophobia can turn into violence towards partners, violence towards families, and violence toward the community. And those are some of the most dangerous people. And that
Yeah.
documentary really painted that light. There was a lot of allegedlys, but you
hmm
can see even if it's not, if
There's
he's,
a pattern.
even if he's not, there is a kink life, there is a fluidity that happens in those spaces. So even if maybe he's not, there is still a hetero flexibility, homo flexibility that happens in the space.
Yeah.
And folks have to recognize that. But if it is in turn, and I don't think it's far off because of how violent he was, because of how aggressive he was, especially towards women, but then you also see the weird relationships that they didn't get to dig into in the documentary
hmm
with Justin Bieber and Usher, especially, that we didn't get to
Yes.
discuss. What
Yeah.
that looked like with Mace, what that looked like with 50 Cent, what that looked like. I'm sure Fonz Bentley saw something, saw a lot of
These
stuff.
people all saw a
So
lot of stuff.
there's a lot of opportunity that he had, but I'm glad that it is bringing up more of the conversation around internalized homophobia and how that is a slippery slope to violence.
Yeah. Yeah. This was even with 50 attached to it, I hope that doesn't eclipse the work of Alexandra Stapleton,
Hmm.
and the other folks who did put everything into this. People don't get paid for documentaries for the most part, like just
Hmm.
across the board. So it's not like, they're paying people to say these things. Again, some of these stories have been told before. And yeah, it's kind of up to you what you think about it. There's going to be people who don't give a fuck about this. And I am very interested to see with this man and how his mind thinks when he comes out after these 50 months that he got. Like, what does he lean into? Like, what does he pivot to? Because one thing we've seen is his name changes and his 9 lives. Like he always pivots to another name or another
Hmm.
persona when he got in trouble as we grew up. So like, what does that look like? Because you know, he didn't get a
Yeah,
lot of time. He'll be out here
that
soon.
could have been
He's
a funny
seeing what's going
breakdown
on. So
for the series. That could have
the
been a funny
name
breakdown to
change,
be like, all
yeah,
right, we're gonna start with Puff
Puff
Daddy,
Daddy,
then we're
you
gonna
know,
move to Diddy,
P
then we're gonna move to
Diddy,
this.
Diddy,
Yeah,
Love, which I was never gonna do that Love bullshit he was
nobody
doing right
was gonna
before
do
he
the love
got
bullshit.
in Love. Nobody was doing it. Exhausted,
Mm-mm.
So, but it'll
Yeah,
be
that
interesting to
could have been
see.
Ja Rule. You can take that, sir. You can take that idea. That's how you could break down your documentary. Do it in the name
Yeah.
phases, okay? Go ahead.
Listen,
Take that. Take it.
yeah.
Put me in a little
It's
producer line just for that suggestion. Thank you so much.
listen, he's gonna have something. But Ja Rule will make this 50 Cent documentary. I do
Oh,
believe
and
he will.
will.
He is
And
like, you know
will.
what? I have been waiting to
Mm-hmm.
expose you. So we'll see what happens. Yeah,
He
documentary
said, give
wars
me a
might be the
year.
new. Yeah,
Documentaries, the new
yeah.
diss track.
And some of Diddy has enough enemies as well. So there'll be
No,
people
for
who are
real.
lining up to talk as well. So
And then wait
um
until he hopefully doesn't, but possibly gets out. Wait until that
yeah,
happens. That's going to be
yeah.
a whole new flurry
That's gonna
of
be a
things
whole
that
new
happen.
thing. And he's probably gonna shoot. I well, listen, first off, they got this footage that, was captured before he was arrested because he apparently didn't pay those videographers. So then Netflix and 50 Cent come around and that's how they got
Hmm.
that footage. So whoever when he gets out, which he will probably try to shoot some sort of documentary or show or vlog or something that, gets people watching him.
Hmm.
Um, he better pay the people that he's around. I don't know what money he'd end up with.
He
He
won't.
has over 100
He
civil
won't.
cases that they always had in the text. Documentaries are always funny when they do the text to the legal stuff they have to do, but he has over 100 civil cases with 77 pending. So like even when he gets out, I don't know how he maneuvers and avoids that, but it'll be interesting to see what his next act's going to be. It's going to be
Hmm.
something, so, and there'll be fans. There'll be people who said he did his time and, you know,
Yep.
leave
And
him
he's going to
alone.
be
None of that
all,
stuff matters.
I've learned, I've spent my time around all these people.
No,
Drops a
he's
new
definitely
song.
opening a church. That's actually what he's going to do. He's going to open a church or
Oh
something. He is opening a
my
church.
God.
Diddy is
That
opening a church.
actually is so
Or
on
Sean Combs.
brand.
Excuse me. He's going to go back to Sean
He's going to go
Combs
back
and
to
he's going
Sean.
to,
He
yeah,
he might change his last name. It'd be Sean something,
something.
and then we'll put it together.
Yeah.
But that actually tracks because he's not gonna stop. So now he's gonna open up a home where he can
Mm-hmm.
continue to do the fucked up shit that he does because the next fucked up place that you're doing that stuff is in the church.
Yep. An easy slide for the redemption story. Like I did the most
Hmm.
wicked stuff, and he, if nothing else, is a genius level storyteller. You saw him strategizing
Yes.
and say, "We got to get dirty." Like and it worked. It worked. So I think he goes the church route. I wondered if he was also another thing that came up is him leaning into being not straight or being queer. If he comes out and he just leans into it, but
Hmm.
you bet he is strategizing right now in his cell. Like he's whatever he's gonna
Oh,
do,
100%.
he's gonna come out and be ready for. So,
Somebody find those notebooks. Find the writing
man,
on the
right?
wall, literally,
Hmm.
and see what groups he goes to while he is in prison. Because I need to know because
Yeah,
that's going to tell everything about the story. And I know that he's able to get messages in and out. I know
you
that
know he
he's able
is.
to sit
You
and
know
try.
he
I won't be
is.
surprised
You
if in
know
a
he
few
is.
months a song drops from him being okay. We've seen all of the TV shows that have made this happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
And there's people who are true apologists that don't think he did anything bad or, use the excuse of
Hmm.
like, well, other more powerful people do it. Other white people, white men get away with it and stuff like that. There are going to be people and to say that he served his time.
Hmm.
Like, he had his day in court. They gave him 50 months. He served his time. You know, and he's free to do whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll see what else comes out of this because, like you mentioned before, this is just a fraction of his victims. So
Hmm.
who knows what happens um, as time goes on. So, well, prayers to everybody involved. It was heavy. It was informational. It was heavy, though. It was very heavy. Also going to be interested in that Keefe D trial next year for the murder of Tupac and what else comes out of that. Because that's been a standing rumor, but the way they did the timeline of it and how far it goes back even to like Puff's, birthday party that Tupac was at and that Tupac didn't,
Mm-hmm.
never liked uh Diddy. Like it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that as well. So,
100%.
oof. All right. This is our advice segment. Am I bad queer? Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. This first one is from Anonymous Nicole, who asks, am I a bad queer? I want to help my friend explore more sexually. She is quiet as it's kept and grew up incredibly religious. She has broken ties from all of her deeply religious family, has done the work to build an amazing chosen family that I get to be a part of, and is thriving in all aspects of her life, minus the sex and relationships part. That has stuck to her, even to the point that she hasn't used a sex toy or even touched herself. I know I am airing her dirty laundry, well, technically clean laundry, but I want her to feel confident and comfortable with her body to experience the freeness that queerness gives. I am very sexually active and always talk about my dating experiences, and I can see her getting visibly uncomfortable when I do so. How do I help empower my friend, Nicole? I don't know about this one. I mean, I think you talking openly about your experiences and encouraging her to explore is pretty much all you can do. You can't like push somebody to be sexually active. I don't know if you know everything that's going on here. So yeah, I don't know if you could do much more. I think she should also go on her own time. So, you know,
Good.
that's what I got.
And that's on that. Yeah, I think one, does your friend go to therapy? And you can go to like a sexual health therapist too.
That
Like
too.
you can
Yeah.
have somebody who's very
Specifically.
much on that. Maybe there's some trauma behind it. Maybe there's different things. It could just be religious, but there could be a lot of underlying layers to the religion that is causing her to not. She could just be asexual. Have you thrown that term out to her just to be like,
Yeah.
maybe? Because I wonder if she has ever confirmed it or if you're just assuming it because she gets uncomfortable when you talk about sex. And then maybe sometimes just like pausing before you tell her the story to be like, hey, can I share this story? What actually makes you uncomfortable about this? So that can help her open up to you a bit more and kind of see like what it is. So wouldn't just 100% jump in and like assume that it is just the religious side of stuff. It could be other things. It could be that she's just not motivated. If she has expressed to you that she like wants to, but just doesn't know where to start, then would probably have like some of the conversations and put her onto the early queer sex videos and influencers that are really good about talking about how to ease in to stuff. But only if she like actively leads you in that direction. If she doesn't, like don't throw a toy in her hand and be like, go, because that'll
Right.
traumatize her as well. So kind of see more of like what the layers are. I know that you just want the best for your friend because it seems like she's living this amazing life and maybe you're wanting her to have a partner or just a really thriving sex life. But if she's cool with it, leave it be. But definitely check in a bit more.
Yeah. She'll get there.
She'll get there.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't want to get there, that's okay too.
And that
Because
part
again,
as well. That actually, more
asexuality
importantly,
exists.
you
Or
know,
she could be ace flux. And right now
yeah.
that's what it is. And then later it could switch. So putting
Yeah.
my definitions live. Haha.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks, Nicole. Our next, Am I a Bad Queer? And we'll wrap it up there for the time. Am I a bad queer? I'm actively dating, but have been avoiding getting more intimate with the women I am dating because I'm worried about STDs. I get stressed out about how to bring it up without offending them, so I just stop communicating. I realize this
Hmm.
isn't the best way. You
There's
don't
an
have to do
Abbott
that.
episode that's just on that. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
No,
it's
I,
funny.
I just watched it
You just
today.
saw it, yeah. That
Just
was
saw it
funny.
today.
They said they
That
would
was
pass
the
that like a
best.
recipe. So funny.
I'm like, not y'all bringing generational trauma in its
So funny.
clearest form into the
Yeah.
conversation. Great job, Abbott, as per usual.
So
Um,
good.
where was I? She said, I realize this isn't the best way, but I don't know what to say or how to say it. Even kissing stresses me out. Help. Angelica is anonymous. I named her Angelica. Angelica girl. First, go watch the most recent episode of Abbott Elementary. It's the newest episode, where they talk about how they just don't communicate their needs or wants.
Yeah.
Is basically
Yeah.
it, and how that
The
passes
silent
down.
treatment. There's silent treatment.
There's silent treatment. You are silent treatmenting
treatment. Yeah.
your potential sexual partners. I take it from me as a person who is also very protective about my sexual health. I ask. I be checking in. And sometimes if it stresses you out about doing it in person, you don't have to do it in person. If you do it before you meet up, to be like, hey, in case things move forward in a certain direction, just wanted to check in. When was the last time you've been intimate with someone? When was the last time that you've been tested? People appreciate a direct ask. And it's not like you're accusing or saying anything. If they come back and they are really defensive, then that gives your answer that you probably don't want to go on that date. But the people who actively care about their sexual health as well, or are going and getting tested or are open to it, they're not going to take offense to it. They're going to say, hey, this is a really valid question and I appreciate that you're asking it. I have yet to get a negative response whenever I ask people, and I stop and I say, do you mind getting tested? I can go and get tested. I can send you my last test results. Happy to do so. These are adult conversations. So don't be afraid to do that. If you're afraid to do that in person, do it in text ahead of time. It's just responsible. It's responsible.
And it's health. It's your sexual health. It's health. It's not, you're not asking for any salacious privacy, whatever reason. Like, it's your sexual health. Like it is something that is fair to ask, and you're protecting yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. So, and they should understand. Now, if they, refuse to do so, then I guess you have to decide, is that a deal breaker for you? Like, if they aren't comfortable doing this, for whatever reason, what does that mean for you? Like, you need to be able to communicate like why it's important to you, but like, why you don't want to get intimate, like that it has nothing to do with, lack of attraction or love, but this is something that's big for you because it's your health. So, and that person should respect that. And if they don't, you'll have to make the decision if you want to continue on with it, because that's their answer. Good luck. Good luck, Angelica, and happy holidays to everybody. It's okay to care about your sexual health. It shouldn't be a stigma anymore. So.
Yes. Very much.
All right. That's it for this week's Am I a Bad Queer? Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod, or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com to be featured.
All right. What type of bad queers will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? My bad queer opinion this week. So I've been seeing, I think I've made it onto the side of lesbian threads and lesbian TikTok.
Lesbian threads.
Where I am seeing the constant call out for single lesbians. Hey, looking for 30 plus single lesbians. I'm looking for 40 plus single lesbians. I'm looking for 20 plus single lesbians. And it's everywhere. It's all over my TikTok. It's all over my threads. I'm like, what did I do? Like one of them and they're all there. Like, I don't know how we got here, but
that's all it takes.
My bad queer opinion is like, they just don't seem to be working. Because
there are a lot of them. I don't know where y'all are with that. I can't dig deep in that, but
so many
happen a lot. And it seems very active. The engagement's through the roof.
No, but here's the thing. The engagement to post about yourself being single and being upset about being single and being like, yep, I'm 30 and I'm a lesbian. I'm based in Texas. I'm 30. I'm a lesbian. I'm based in Chicago. But I don't see nobody going and being like, hey, Chicago, I'm in Chicago. I don't see anybody being like, hey, girl, I like this. Let's talk. I see none of that. I see a bunch of people who are happy to talk about themselves, but none of them taking the action. Why? Because we are a community of people who, when we are in the same space together, all we do is look at each other.
Yeah.
We stare at
each
other
what we're
from
doing
across
online
the room.
right now?
That is all we are doing right now. We are just taking what we do in person and putting it on the internet. And that's all it is. This is a live thing. If this was a gay boy thread,
something. I think you uncovered
they would be fine. Yeah.
I think you have. Like, that is what's happening. in the digital world is just still the look. And
It's just we're
that's
just looking at each
crazy.
other through
Yeah,
a screen from the comfort of our couch rather than looking at each other across the bar.
that's
And
hilarious.
that's all we're
If
doing.
we should do the call out. If you have had a successful connection through threads or any call out, please contact us at Bad Queers
Please,
Pod.
please,
So, because
please.
I want
I
to know.
need
I
to
mean, they do
know.
happen regularly. So,
They
like, it
do.
hasn't
I
worked
see
out
it
with
like
anybody. Did you
daily.
actually DM? And maybe people are DMing. Like, they see it. You answer the call for this, and maybe it's happening, and we just don't know. So, if
I need
it's
to know.
happening, let us know. That's
I need
very
to know
funny. I do wonder
because it
how
just
that could
doesn't seem
happen.
like it's happening. Again, we have taken our bar culture
Yeah.
and put it on the internet for everybody to see. That's what we've done.
That's so funny. Putting our business out there.
Okay?
Everyone can see how dysfunctional it is. Like nothing's happening. That's so funny. Which is
Nothing
crazy.
is
I mean,
happening.
I want to believe that y'all are DMing and reaching out to some of these people because otherwise, because it would
But
be
if
the
you
same,
DM, do
like
you
the
get an answer?
easiest thing. Like it's
If you
not like at a
DM,
bar. If
do
you
you
could
get an
have like
answer?
sometimes if you're like nervous, if you could have like kind of a private conversation, like cool, like y'all could have a private conversation. So there's really no excuse y'all shouldn't be reaching out. You see somebody answer it, DM them. Maybe you don't want to put it out, in the threads, but yeah, let us know. Let us know
Let
if
us
y'all are
know.
answering these, please. That is
Please.
interesting. I never thought of that. But
Yeah.
those call outs happen daily,
All the
so
time.
all the
I
time
see it
almost.
truly
Yeah.
once, at minimum once a day, but
Yeah.
typically it's like 5 times a day. Okay?
That's gonna be our standing like reoccurring post as just a wanted classified ad of like asking people to single people to respond to our threads because maybe
Uh-huh.
it is just it functions as like yeah like Craigslist is like where you just I don't know a forum y'all reach
Yeah.
out privately who
Yeah.
knows I hope y'all are DMing at least
Please. I
please
mean,
please
I'm sure some a
appreciate it.
bunch of people are probably. Here's the other flip side of it. I think there are a lot of
Mhm.
people who are DMing and nobody's answering. I'm like, then why did you
Oh,
put
no, that
yourself
might be
on
happening.
this thread? And now it's the same thing.
That
The
could be
same thing is
happening.
happening
That could
because
be
that's what happens
happening.
on our queer dating apps, where it's like we match and then nothing
Yeah,
happens. So
I
I
might have
DM you,
unlocked it.
nothing happens, y'all. We are airing out what we do in public. This is what's.
That's so funny.
But if that's not your experience, please reach out to us and
Yeah.
tell us your experience.
What
Please,
it now?
please,
What do
please.
you what advice would you give to somebody who gets a DM from somebody with this, but they don't like they're like no, I'm cool. Like what should they say? Should they
I mean,
answer? Should they not answer? Are they
at
obligated
least
to
say
answer?
that. At least
Say
say
that you're
that.
not interested? Just
Yeah. Hey,
really
really
they
appreciate you reaching
hey.
out. I'm so glad that this worked.
Mm,
Not interested moving forward. Thanks so
okay.
much.
Okay. That's fair. I guess let them know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people take the like, hey, you take the
Or
step of
at
not
least
saying
react to it
anything.
so that you could be like, I read it, but like, nah, I'm not
Thumbs
gonna,
up.
I'm not gonna be about
The
it.
thumbs up. Damn.
Give him a
Mm.
little heart.
Yeah.
Give him
Mm.
the confetti. Give him a little
Yeah.
confetti thing,
That's
like,
hilarious. The
yay, and
celebration.
then
Like,
leave.
congrats for DMing me. And that's it.
But I'm not saying nothing. And that would
At
also
all.
be a clear sign, I feel like, to be like, all
Yeah.
right, cool. I'm gonna
Well,
head out.
maybe we assign that right now. If you get a congrats DMing me and no other
Somebody's gonna
message,
start doing that.
that means to
And they're
go
gonna
along,
be like,
go on your way
they're gonna
digitally,
say,
you know?
Shana from Bad Queer said, if you receive a DM and you just answer with
Mhm.
confetti, that clearly means you're not interested.
Not, but congratulations for taking that step, you
Okay,
know?
like
Congratulations, but no.
go you
So,
for
yeah.
doing the action. It may not have worked,
Yeah.
which also happens in dating, y'all.
Yeah.
So it's
In real
okay that
life.
sometimes it doesn't happen. You could turn to somebody in real life and be like, hey, I really appreciate that you came over here. I appreciate the compliment. I'm
Yeah.
just not interested.
That's all. And that's what that emoji says. All
That's
of
what that
that.
emoji says. Confetti.
Yep.
Pew.
Congratulations. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, let us know what y'all doing with that. That is quite interesting. All right, my bad queer opinion is actually a community no, and it is just to let the femme of center, the femmes that are dating mask folks and studs, just ask them what they want for Christmas. Don't I know I've had to say this before, but don't guess. Please
To
don't
ask the
guess.
femmes or ask the studs?
No, ask the stud what they want for
Okay.
their yes. Just ask your mask what they want for Christmas and it's fine. Like it's Christmas. It's not like romantic or anything.
Why do
Just
I want that to be a segment?
ask them
Ask your mask.
what they want. It
Ask your mask.
saves headaches, it saves resentment, it saves awkward celebrations because it's hard with the gift because it's just like you didn't have to buy me this gift. You really didn't. You spent money. You did some sort of like searching online with your thumbs, but like don't mess it up. Just ask them. Ask them what they want the most. And honestly, they're going to be very happy that they got exactly what they want. Like there's no misses if you just ask. Like we're grown. You can believe in Santa if you want to, but just in case you don't or you're not confident in their Santa's picking ability, just ask your mask. And take the guesswork out of it. Just ask. So,
Just
happy
ask.
holidays. Just ask. Mm-hmm.
Ask your mask.
Happy holidays. Ask your
Happy
mask.
holidays, y'all. All
Ask your
right. Well,
mask.
that's a perfect way to wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to the page By History. They celebrate and preserve bisexual plus history. They recently launched the Bi Plus Archive Atlas, a new guide to bisexual plus history, a digital guide that brings together 60 plus links to archival records, including zines, newsletters, oral histories, activist materials, health campaigns, and more. You can check it out at By History on IG.
All right, my shout out is to the Native Son 101 list. The class of 2025 is out. This list is an annual feature by Native Son spotlighting the 101 influential Black, gay, and queer men and non-binary individuals who made significant cultural, professional, or community impacts for that year. Follow them at Native Son Now on IG, and it will link out to the full list of profiles.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, we will see you next week.
Can we talk about things? And I'm sorry that I'm